Morning, Cliff Yates, live everybody here on YouTube, vertical mode. I love going live vertical for a couple different reasons. As I always say on a consistent basis, I like being raw and real for a couple different reasons today. I have a motive why I'm going live. Number one, maybe like you, I get sick and tired of all of the AI generated content where I don't know if it's real or not. So I really crave and I love consuming content. I'm not only a creator, I'm a consumer, and I know you are too because you're listening to me right now today. And so I want real, authentic creators and what they're doing. So I want to see stuff and really I want to filter it. Is this real or is this BS AI generated? Because I just don't like the AI generated stuff, except for some of the humorous things. I mean, I appreciate when somebody uses AI in an entertaining way. I know it's AI, but I enjoy watching it that way. Good morning, everybody. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I like going live in the vertical mode because I know that it shows up in the shorts feed and I get to connect with people who aren't already subscribers, and then they say, hey, wait a minute, I might be interested in this content. I think I'm going to subscribe to the channel, get notified when the next video comes out. This weirdo seems a little bit interesting. Maybe I'm interested in it. Because you're the most important person today. I'll tell you, that's a true thing. You need to start coaching today. You've got to be a coach today. And if you want to stop at one client, that's okay, because that one client is you. You first have to coach yourself. Self-coaching, that's the key to getting to the next level in your life, which I know that you want. Good morning. Hey, thank you for checking in. I want to acknowledge you and encourage you. Richard Phillips. Hey. Thank you for saying hello while you're driving. Do not crash. Pay attention. Stay focused on what you're doing. One of the most important things you can do, right? Especially when you're driving. One of the most dangerous stuff that we do is driving. And then sometimes it's the most distracted thing we do because we become so good at it. Subconsciously, we get to a location and wonder, how the hell did we get here? I was talking on the phone and didn't even realize my subconscious guided me in the direction that I went in. All right, everybody. Hey, listen, I want to talk about a couple different things just off the top of my head. One of the reasons I like to go live is, right, no teleprompter. I have no notes. I'm coming from the head, through the heart, out through the mouth to you, and we're gaining more in my community of progress. So join up. It's not an easy crowd. You know, that's a secret really to having a fulfilling life is choose hard shit. When you choose hard things, life becomes easier. It's kind of a paradox, right? When you choose the easy way, life becomes harder. Staying in bed, not working out, not eating the right foods, not getting sunlight, playing at something, staying active, movement, connecting with people, paying attention to our relationships. When we go the easy way, life becomes hard. When we choose hard, then life actually becomes easier. But let's choose hard. The great thing about that is it's you stress. Better that you're picking the stress. You're in control of the stress. When you're controlling it on purpose, I'm causing stress in my life on purpose. I'm in control of it. When we allow the outside world to put distress on us, that's not a good thing. That tastes like shit. What is really tastes good is when we choose eustress, the stress that we choose. I'm getting out of bed early this morning because I want to. I'm choosing it. It's hard, and I'm choosing hard. Choose hard. Life becomes easier when you choose hard. Thanks for checking in, everybody. I love it. I loved all the positive comments. Celestial Game World. I love it. I love it. Thanks for checking in. Every day when I go live, I love the positive comments lately. When you put yourself out there, I don't know if you're doing this or not, you open yourself up, and rightfully so, you know, for attacks. You know, you're going to get the keyboard warriors throwing punches at you, and that's okay because then we get to practice pairing them off and not letting them affect us, right? Because no one can ruin your day unless you gave them the power to do that. Why would we do that? Why would you give your power away? Unless it's by design. We talked about this last night in my improv class that I had a great class last night. It was the end of a 4-week course, and my fellow actors in improv class, which were all, when I think about it, they were all under 55. There was a 55-year-old, but age had nothing to do with the class. But we were talking about shifting powers and submitting to that and then claiming your power when it's your turn to claim it, right? So even in class last night, we were talking how power shifts back and forth, right? There was a time when the instructors were standing before us as we sat there, right? We submitted to the power. They were of a higher stature in the power struggle. And then when it was our turn to get involved in a scene study work, then it was actually a shift. And now we were in control of our scene and what we were doing and what we were putting forth with our scene partner. So power shifts all the time, and we need to recognize that if we really want to thrive. Then recognize the shift in power. I remember years ago as an LA County deputy sheriff when I was working in the courtrooms, and it was just one of those moments when the judge was talking to a couple of us deputy sheriffs, and he was just saying just what I'm talking about today, the shift of power. He goes, you know, I'm the judge today here on the bench. I'm running my courtroom, right? And I'm directing you deputies on what I need and what I want you to do, and you're helping me to run my courtroom. But I'm in charge today. I got the robe on, I'm behind the bench, and I'm calling the shots. He goes, but yesterday, during the fire drill, when I left the bench and got into the hallway, then the deputy sheriffs were telling me what to do and where to go, and I knew my place then was to follow what the deputies were telling me to do. In the hallway during that fire drill, I was not the judge in control of the courtroom. So he was kind of indicating at that time, it was a lesson that I was taking in, how the shift of power can change based on the situation. And we should recognize that, because then we can better know when it's our turn to claim our power. And that's just something I was thinking about yesterday when my improv instructors are in their 20s. But I know in that situation when they're I was there to learn and grow in the improv class. And I'll tell you, the improv class, you know, I almost didn't take it. This is my second run. So 8 weeks I've done improv. You know, and after doing stand-up comedy for 25 years, being a deputy sheriff, a cop, you know, you get to the point I've already learned that. I've already learned this. We can never get to the point where we think we've already learned stuff. And so I had to kind of kick my ego out of the car and say, no, I need to step out and learn something new. So I took that improv class, and it's been unbelievable the amount of learning that I've taken from this improv class, and I've been able to take to the street. When I say take to the street, I'm talking about the skills that you learn doing improv with a scene partner that you can take to everyday life. It's just amazing how much that helps you connect with other people just in everyday conversations. Because when you're in a scene study in an improv class, you're learning to be present in the present moment with your scene partner. You cannot be time traveling yesterday, forward or backwards. You have to pay attention to what your scene partner is saying, and you have to learn to respond and not to react and not to be thinking what I'm going to say as they're still talking. You can't do that in an improv class when you're in a scene or you're doing one of the improv games that is training you to be present, right? And to not be anticipating what you're going to say. And now you take that into your everyday conversations, and then you start listening better when you're talking with people. You're not just hearing them and planning in your own head with your own voice, oh, this is what I'm going to say when I get a chance to jump in. And then you stopped hearing what someone is actually telling you verbally. And if you pay close attention and stay focused on what they're saying, not only verbally, but what they're saying with their physical body, it makes you such a better communicator. And you have a deeper connection with people. And as we've been talking about, you and me, for the past couple of weeks, the Harvard study that has been going on for 85 years on the clue to happiness, where the big factor is, at the end of people's lives, they have found that they are most fulfilled by the relationships that they've had. Their quality of life was reflective of the quality of their relationships. And what do we have total control over? The relationships that we can build, maintain. I don't know about you, I have relationships that still go back to my high school days. I have a couple people I'm still in contact with. We cannot talk for a year, and then we can talk, and it's as if we never left the previous conversation. And then I have friendships that I've just developed over the past 3 weeks in improv class, and now we've exchanged numbers. We're keeping in contact with each other because we have that in common. All right. Hey, everybody, thanks for checking in. Oh, man. OG Vanny, taking power back at the right time and giving power at the right time. It's key, isn't it? Really, it was just coming to light last night as my improv instructors were telling me. And we just happened to be talking about it. And then I was just remembering how power shifts back and forth between relationships or circumstances, depending on where we're at, and just recognizing those moments. Probably the most important thing is to recognize when, hey, our opportunity to step into our own power. And so, it's just, it can make life so exciting when you realize, above all the other animals in life, we have the power of choice and reasoning. At any time, we can change directions and decide to do something different, right? Right now, I'm lucky. I have the income and wherewithal. If I want to, I can move to Hawaii, get a bartending job on the beach, and I'll do that for the next year. I have the power to make that choice. Now, I'd have to pay a price in doing that, but there would probably be positive return on that investment. But the fact that we have that power should excite us. I hope it excites you. And so, as I was saying earlier, you know what? Claim your power and start coaching today. Start coaching yourself because you have that power. You have those choices. And you can start putting a meaning on everything that happens to your life that will empower you. Another thing I was learning yesterday is as I was relearning or, reaffirming everything I learned in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is just a strategy and a way of thinking that was developed by John Grinder and Richard Bandler in the 1970s. And they were learning how to change the way we think by really focusing on how we learn and take in information. NLP is nothing more than paying attention to how we learn and how we can change our thinking, not for repair, but just for optimizing. So instead of learning from therapists and therapy on Fix a Broken Mind, we can learn from therapy and different ways of thinking to optimize us in our life to the next level. And it's just great in communication. I was practicing last night, even in improv class. I was noticing how people were talking now. They might use language such as, I hear what you're saying. Hey, picture this. Can you see yourself doing this? Okay, that person really prefers to communicate with visual components of language. And the other person might say, I hear what you're saying. It sounds like you enjoy doing, I could tell, the auditory. They preferred to communicate in an auditory method. And we can use that to, it's funny. Richard Bandler was on a podcast and he was talking about, people claim that NLP is manipulative. Well, what's the definition of manipulation? Manipulate. It's taking someone's thoughts and changing them. And so he said, of course, NLP is manipulative because we're actually changing how we think. Because if we change how we think, then we're going to change what we're feeling. And when we change how we're feeling, it creates emotions that changes our vibration. Everything is vibrating. And when we change our vibration, we become magnetized to people and things on the same vibration, the same frequency as other people. You know it, you see it, you sense it when people walk into a room. You know when people walk in with a negative vibration on the negative side, you feel repelled by that energy. You feel it. When people walk into the room and there's something about them, there's a light about them, they're vibrating. It's like a pregnant woman, right? There's a glow about you. Why do we recognize and notice when someone's pregnant, even though visually it's not evident, but we notice that about a woman. Because it's the frequency, it's the vibration that they're putting out there, and we actually receive that if we're open to it. We've got to open ourselves up to the vibrations that are coming in around us. You know, it's funny, without even thinking about it or being conscious of it, cops, we do that when we're on patrol, right? Sometimes we call it intuition. How did you know there was something wrong? Your subconscious learns to recognize certain things that we consciously aren't paying attention to, and something tells us. It's our subconscious mind that is always observing everything is coming in. Consciously, we can't pay attention to everything. Otherwise, our mind would explode. So our brain does things to efficiently process everything that's going on. So the brain is always working. So the brain is always generalizing, deleting, and distorting. If you can just remember that pattern, that your brain is doing that all the time. It's always generalizing, deleting, and distorting so that we survive. And so once you know that that's what the brain is doing, it's working. We can override what needs to be overridden because it's not a danger, right? Our brain is telling us this is dangerous, don't do it. You know, you have never done this before. When we try to change our paradigm, the way we think of things, our brain is going to fight that and say, wait a minute, you're good where you're at. Stay where you're at. You're alive, you're surviving. Why are you stepping out there and changing the way you think, the way you act? And we have to override that. And so we can do it. We have the decision-making ability to override what the brain is trying to do for us to make us survive. Is not going to help us grow and become more. Every day in every way. We have that power. Thanks for checking in, everybody. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'll guarantee you one thing only. I'm going to bring the energy to you. I will definitely do that. But this is all about you. It's actually all about us, right? If you're here, I want something of value to come out of this for you. Even if that's just telling you, hey, start coaching today yourself. Take control of your own personal power. Don't give it away to everybody else. Remember what you're saying. Oh, you know what? Tim ruined my whole day today. Tim has no power to ruin your day unless you gave it to him. Tim can try to bring you, if someone brings you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who owns it? The person who brought the gift owns it. So guess what? When someone brings you a gift of negativity, refuse to accept it, right? They own it and they can take it with them. You're not going to accept it. All right, everybody. It's the I don't want to die mechanism. Oh my God, I was thinking of that today. I'm glad you said that. It's the I don't want to die. I don't want to, no. John Bon Jovi. I just kept hearing that song and it kept going in my head. I'm not going to live forever. Oh, that song, you just reminded me of that song. It's my life. It's your life. It is your life. You make the damn choices. You decide what everything means. You start planning. That was the secret sauce that I heard yesterday. Planning is the secret sauce. I'm thinking of a book by Viktor Frankl that calls Man's Search for Meaning. He was in a concentration camp. He's a psychologist and he's noticing while he's in the camps. This group of people gave up. They threw themselves in the wire and committed suicide. This group, they maintained hope and they lived through it. He wanted that. What the hell's the difference? And it was the meaning they were giving to everything. And Richard Bandler was saying, and he was talking about another guy in the camps, not Viktor Frankl. He started planning. Kind of the same thing. So Viktor Frankl was saying, hey, no matter what they do to me in this concentration camp, and his whole family was killed, no matter what they do to me, they can torture me, they can starve me, they can cut off my arm, but they can't tell me what to think, and they can't make me give certain meanings that I have the choice of giving. And he decided to plan and give meaning to everything that was happening. When I'm out of this camp, I'm going to be giving talks on this to groups of people. I can't wait to be out of here because I'm going to learn from this experience and I'm going to talk about this in the future. If you can see yourself and create an image in the future, then you can start making progress from here to there, and each step along the way is going to build towards that joy. That's the way to change the way you look at things. Another example yesterday, think about this. This is just a metaphor. You got a pile of dirty dishes in your sink. Now you can think, oh my God, I dread washing these dishes. Or you can think and image a clean, organized kitchen, a clean sink with no dishes in it. And with that image in mind, now every dish that you wash is evidence of your progress towards that image of a clean sink. And now every dish that you wash builds, right, anticipation to the final end. Make the excitement in the end and not in the beginning. An example he gave was, don't get excited about starting a book. Because if you get excited about the start of the book, once you start, then that excitement will fade. So get yourself excited about the end, finishing the book. I'm getting excited about what it's going to be like when I finish this book. Now, as you start the book, then your energy is going to build. You want to be building towards the end, and we can create that. In the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. Same thing as Richard Bandler was saying, right? Have the excitement at the end so that you're constantly building to it. And then when you get to it, everything that goes along with it is going to be such an exciting thing. All the oxytocin, all the dopamine hits that you're going to get from that is going to be there at the end. And then what do? You start planning for the next destination. It is a peak and valley that continues right to the end of our lives, everybody. If that doesn't excite you today, get out of here. All right, everybody, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And I love all the positive comments. I don't know why I've been getting, maybe because I'm expecting positive comments lately. I've been getting so many positive comments. That's what I'm paying attention to. So maybe sometimes what we expect is what we're going to find, because that's what we're looking for. So, right? Ask and you shall receive. Sometimes we just have to change what the hell we're looking for. All right, everybody. Mental framework. I love it. Building a mental framework. It's really hard to have an ordered life if everything is cluttered. Hey, that is the key right there. What you just said. Having come on. We have so many real life examples of this. You clean your car, you vacuum it out, and you wash and wax your car. All of a sudden, it feels like the car is running better, right? Which is an impossibility. Just because you've cleaned the outside, now it seems like the engine is running better. Listen, that's a great metaphor. Just don't do it with your car. Do it with your body. Clean up your body however you can. I was thinking yesterday, I had 3 hard days of weight training. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And because of my soreness in my body, I knew it was the right thing to do to take yesterday off and today off to rebuild. But it was very hard for me to take those 2 days off. And yesterday when I had lunch in Vero Beach, Florida, as I saw people my age and maybe a little bit older, and when you're in Florida, you can see people who are a little bit older. And I was thinking, man, I'm sorry, no disrespect, but I'm looking at these fat pieces of shit. And I'm thinking, of course, that's mean to say. I'm sorry. Forgive me, Lord. These fat, out of shape people, I'm thinking, holy shit, this image is shitty. I don't ever want to be feeling and looking like they are. And some of these people I know were younger than I was. That's why it's sometimes hard to take a day off. Whoa, because I'm repelled by that image of these fat, out of shape people shuffling around. I don't know what they're going through or what ailments they have, but I'm going to tell you right now, I could tell that they do not have an organized, intentional program of exercise and movement. And I don't want any part of it. And there's nothing good that can come of it. And so, hey, no way. But, sometimes we got to be smart. Take rest days when you need to rest and get back at the gym when you need to get back in the gym. We know what the right thing is to do, and we know the timing. We just have to do it. All right, everybody. I got to get after it. All right, everybody, that's it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Do not be afraid. Don't be anxious about anything. Whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. Focus your attention on those things. All right, I'll see you in the next video. I know you're going to be there.